Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on Cool FM Live, our Cochise County Sports Show. I'm Dave Davies. That's Paul Pizzy Corder. We're sitting here at Vista Golf Center, Pueblo Del Sol. What is it, 79 degrees right now? Beautiful, baby.
Empty course.
Course is wide open. I want to play 9 holes after the show, but nobody's here to join me, so come down here. We'll go play some golf.
Fortunately, got real work to do as well. So. Yeah. What are you going to do?
Pizzy, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Pueblo Del Sol, Sierra Vista Golf Center at Pueblo Del Sol, home, Dave, of the Buena Colt golf team. You know how I know that? Because every time we're playing, they're practicing when we're coming in. So
Jackson's better than I am.
I can imagine. Absolutely. Katie McDonald already in our chat says, good morning. We are live, folks.
Oh, they're ready for that St. David talk already.
They sure are.
Wilcox talk.
They sure are. But as always, this is brought to you by Synergy HomeCare Sierra Vista. And when you find care for someone you love, it's important that it feels right. Synergy provides non-medical home care for people that struggle with activities of daily living. Give them a call today at 520-685-1035.
And thank you once again, to Jaime, pardoning manager, and Ashley Romack over at Texas Roadhouse.
Roadhouse?
We had kids' night last night. On Monday nights, we're going to start doing this. It was highly successful. So Monday nights, come in, bring the kids. You'll get a free kids meal coupon for the next week.
There we go.
It was a great night last night at Texas Roadhouse.
The Sierra Vista Dance Company actually has a fundraiser tomorrow at Texas Roadhouse tomorrow night.
I'll be there.
So will I. Go
I'll
figure.
Be there at 4 o'clock. He'll be sitting in my section.
Always do.
Both of us.
Always do. Oh, yeah. So anyway, welcome to the Cochise County Sports Show. A lot of exciting things happening here today, Dave. We have official AIA rankings for the 1A and 2A divisions of Arizona football. Not only that, we have halfway through the season our midseason recognitions to get to. We have Arizona top 10 leaders, 1A top 10 leaders, 2A top 10 leaders, of course, Buena at 5A. Top 10 stat leaders that we're going to get through, so strap in.
I have 4 diatribes.
Man, we got a lot going on today.
Good luck today, folks. You're in big trouble.
Oh, man.
Not one. Count them. Not 1, not 2, not 3.
How many disclaimers do I need?
Ooh, today? 2.
2 disclaimers. Got it. All right. Well, without further ado, folks, let's go ahead and get in to our high school.
You accused me of being too nice. Not today, folks. Not today.
Thank you, Katie, for tagging everyone in the chat for us. Katie McDonald, always here for us now. Let's start off with our 1A. We're going to start off with the Canyon Athletic Association teams, and we're going to go with.
We had a big one last week on Valley Unit St. David, yeah.
Well, let's get to the Canyon Athletic first.
We're in ALA.
Yeah. So ALA did lose on the road to Ajo, I think is how you say it, AJO, 54-8, and they're going to be taking Sequoia Charter on in their next game. No stats on the American Leadership Academy, but they did get off the schneid a couple weeks ago with their first win. We're going to go over to the Marine Academy Eagles, 3-2, currently 0-2 in their section. They won 8-6 last game, and they are on the road against Imagine Prep, on their next one. And we finally do have some stats for the Marine Academy Eagles. Thank you, Coach Champton.
You said Imagine Charter?
Yes.
No people? No possessions either?
Whatever you say, brother.
John Lennon jokes. It's early.
Oh, okay, good. So, yeah, like I said, we do have stats. Jeremiah Bethea looks like he's the quarterback now for the Marine Academy Eagles, threw for 41 yards, also ran for 54 yards and a touchdown. And it was 8-6, the victory for the Marine Academy Eagles. So that was the touchdown that won the game and the closing moments of that ball game. So congratulations to Marine. Logan Seeley, our boy, 14 carries for 41 yards. Isaac Hively had 6 tackles, 2 in the backfield, also forced 2 fumbles in this ball game. So defense for Marine, it travels, and it traveled well today. Logan Seeley also added 6 tackles, 1 in the backfield. Mason Meskey had a tackle for a loss and recovered 1 of the fumbles. Johnny Torres had an interception, and Zach Banks actually had a fumble recovery as well. And I have another FR, which I said I wouldn't forget, but whatever. It's not 2 fumble recoveries. I know that much. Anyway, the Marine Academy Eagles, 8-6.
I would say 8-6 is one of those victories that you're going to look back on and hang your hat on. Like, if they end up going to the playoffs, doing something, that 8-6 victory, that's a big one.
Yeah, and again, step up for Marine Academy. Not just one division. They skipped up 2 divisions to the top flight. And currently 3-2, I think, is a very – now, Logan Seeley and Isaac Merrow on our show, and they thought they were going to go undefeated. But for us, just having a winning record, jumping up 2 divisions, I think is a very big success for the Eagles.
Absolutely.
But,
I mean, 3-2 so far, so good. Let's keep winning games.
Well, let's, without further ado, to Katie McDonald, let's go ahead and get into the St. David Tigers versus Valley Union Blue Devils game. Ooh. Unfortunately, not much of a game, Dave. The St. David Tigers come out and win that one 56-6 over Valley Union, stamping their firm control over the 1A South region in AIA.
I was really excited going into that game because Valley Union was playing so well.
Yep.
St. David coming off a loss. I was like, oh, my God, this is going to be a game. St. David said, hold my drink. And it, 56-6, he said? Wow. St. David doing St. David things. Valley Union, we still love you, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And Logan Seeley, the aforementioned Logan Seeley, was on that call. 56-6. So Valley Union now falls to 3-2. They're 3-1 in sections. They were undefeated before that one, and that was the battle of the first place in the 1A South between 2 Cochise County teams. That was going to be incredible. Unfortunately, St. David just too good for Valley Union. They do go to Fort Thomas on the 4th, and that is their next game. We expect a nice little bounce-back win for the Valley Union Blue Devils.
Oh, yeah, they're not done yet.
Let's go over to the St. David Tigers, who won that game. They're now 4-0 in section, 5-1 overall, 56-6 over and they play at home to San Manuel. Gerald Morgan in the chat says, "Hi, Paul and Dave.
What's up, Gerald?
What you doing this Saturday?
I don't want to get Gerald excited, but I'm off.
Oh, nice. I think I have something to do. I can't remember what it is. And Ryan Russell in the chat says, "Yo, what's going on, Ryan?" But yeah, so St. David's going to beat San Manuel next week. There's a JV game tonight at home versus Tombstone for St. David. That's cool. Is it a volleyball or is it a football? It doesn't matter. Anyway.
Oh, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little sick today. I had to call into Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
So I'm a little under the weather today. There will be no football.
You're a little sick.
There will be no football for Daving today.
I was, no kidding, right? Yeah, Addison, my youngest, had a fever all night last night. Just broke it, so it's good. But definitely transfer that to me.
So. It's been 3 years. We haven't missed a show.
We're not going to start today.
I don't care how sick I am. We're still here.
Let's go to.
That's why I get my own mic. We have to sterilize this thing.
So let's get to the stats because we know St. David's got a lot of them. Vincent Cicariello went 10 of 18 for 84 yards and 3 touchdowns in this ball game. No rushing stats. So
10 completions, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's pretty good, I think, right?
It's almost Jared Goff-like.
You know it's even better. Cedar Haney ran the ball 13 times for 209 yards and 2 touchdowns in this one. Also added a receiving touchdown.
Give me these stats. I'm hearing these with you.
Also had a receiving touchdown in this game. Chase Pacheco had a receiving and a rushing touchdown in this ball game.
About Todd Pacheco on defense? What'd you tell me?
I'll tell you in a second. Gannon Carafa had a receiving touchdown. Let's get over to those defensive stats, Dave. Todd Pacheco, not only did he get a touchdown on offense, not only did he get 2 pancake blocks on offense. Again, thank you, St. David, for putting the pancake blocks in there. Very consistent with that. He had 10 tackles. Every single tackle he made was in the backfield. Todd Pacheco. And he also had 3 sacks in this ball game.
He's trying to go for that Cochise County GOAT status. He's going for the whole shebang bang. He started hearing the name Sebastian Lopez. Top Joe was like, "I got something for you."
Well, you may he met our old Cochise team as a freshman. So
he's about to make the all MVP team.
ain't that the truth? Ryan Russell in the chat says Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
We can say that again. It's been so. It feels like we're complete now that we can say the Roadhouse.
I know. That's what, when we started doing this, it was the Roadhouse, and they took it away from us, and now we're back. Roadhouse.
Gerald Morgan says it's the last home game for the Sierra Vista Colts youth football game at Keith Hampton Memorial Field. They play the Tucson Redskins.
Saturday.
I think it's this Saturday.
We'll take a look.
Why not?
For you, Gerald.
Why not? So we're going to go over to
Fights on Saturday,
more pancake blocks between Isaac Wilson, Luke Haymore, Keston Richardson got in there, Roman Tilton got in there, Luke Gorman got in there, and they also each contributed tackle for loss in the backfield. We're not done with our defensive stats. Chase Pacheco, 2 interceptions in this ball game and a fumble recovery. Emmett Etter had a sack, an interception, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and a blocked punt in this one. St. David doing anything and everything they wanted to last week.
God forbid. Don't ever beat St. David in a football game because you end up with that today. Where they just take out all that anger on poor Valley Union. Sorry, Valley Union. We love you.
I had high hopes for that game. Now, did I think St. David's the better team? Absolutely, I think St. David's the better team. But the Valley Union Blue Devils, like you said, were playing so well. We got to see them in their first game against a top-ranked team, and they held their own, and we are expecting more of the same. Unfortunately,
Valley Union was hot going into
St. David, just a wagon. Just a wagon, Dave. That's how you talk about St. David. Let's move over to our 2A sports coverage now. Everything good?
Yo, yeah, you're good.
Okay, let's go over to our 2A sports coverage. We had all 4 of our 2A teams playing each other. We'll start with the game we were at, the Benson Bobcats and the Bisbee Pumas. The Bisbee Pumas come out on top.
What a game that was. Woo.
15-12. The Bisbee Pumas with the victory. They host Benson Bobcats. Their next game. Here's the thing about the Benson Bobcats. They have a 3-game winning streak coming up right now. So they host Palo Verde. They have Santa Rita in there, and they have Catalina in there. So Benson Bobcats are going to be fine. By the end of that, they're going to be 5-3. They're going to be 4-1 in sections. So they're going to be they're going to be hot. They're going to be just fine.
Well, if they had pulled off that win against Bisbee, boy, the Benson Bobcats looked like it was over. Because after this next 3-game streak that they're about to win, it was over. But what a game that was last week, Benson and Bisbee. What a game.
Joseph Coronado says, hashtag Puma Pride. The Benson Bobcats as well lost to Phoenix Christian. We got to preview the rankings. Stay tuned, folks. 1A and 2A are ranked. And their first loss of the season, second loss of the season came to a Phoenix Christian team that's currently ranked 4th in 1A. And they lost to them because they didn't have a field goal kicker to kick it home. So Benson Bobcats are going to be there, folks. Speaking of the Benson Bobcats, let's go over some stats. Dawson Judd threw 7-17 for 96 yards, also ran a touchdown in. Defensively contributed an interception as well.
Nice pick.
Oh, man, he came from nowhere. Came from nowhere.
2 weeks in a row, Dawson Judd out of the left field getting interceptions.
We were a little bit more excited with the Benson Bobcat game plan as Flint Davis ran 19 times for 86 yards, really started to pick up the ground game. And if Benson passes off of the run game, they're going to be a real big threat going forward. It's Benson, it's Wilcox, they're country boys up there. They like to run the football. They like to move people. We're going to go over to Buchanan Garrett, who led the team with 3 pancake blocks. Dylan Spangler, also a pancake block, and Andrew Workman, a pancake block, a touchdown. 7 tackles, 5 in the backfield for Andrew Workman. Also, Harley Van Warmer with a sack, 7 tackles and a tackle in the backfield. So Van Warmer, again, showing out why he was our defensive player of the week last week.
Well, Workman had the scoop and score for the Tutter, which was beautiful. And Van Warmer, I think that's the 3rd sack on Lopez on the year. So congratulations. Not the easiest task to get that kid down on the ground.
You're not wrong about that, Dave. Let's switch over to the Bisbee Pumas. Of course, did win that 15-12. Their next game is home against the Wilcox Cowboys. Guess who's going to be there?
See you on Friday, baby.
That's going to be a
Can't
game
wait.
and a half. So this is going to be interesting before we get into the stats. Max Preps has the Bisbee Pumas at
How big did that game just get?
number 9 and the Wilcox Cowboys at number 8. AZ Preps has them flipped around. So we got, but both entities of rankings say that these are the 2 best 2A Cochise County teams going at it right now.
Yeah, that game just got big. See you Friday. Can't wait. I'll be healed up by then. I'll be healthy. I'll be ready.
And speaking of the Bisbee Pumas, I think what we were more excited about outside of the stat sheet is we knew exactly what this game was going to be. We said Benson's going to play their game. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to beat you down defensively. They're going to make it not a fun football game. And we were looking to see if mentally Bisbee had the resilience to hold off on that. And they sure did, Dave. And they a 15-12 win over the Benson Bobcats, who some people might have written off. Benson's a top team.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Bisbee played, like we always talk about, it's mental. It's all mental with the Bisbee Pumas. And Benson,
Talent's there.
Benson gave them a fight and a half. Bisbee finally showed us that mental toughness and was able to win a tight game. Like, what a good game that was. Sebastian Lopez, you're a magician.
Sebastian Lopez threw 12 of 23 for 205 yards in this ball game. Also ran the ball 15 times for 92 yards. Bryson Meyer carried the ball 21 times for 120 yards and a touchdown, caught the ball for 32 yards.
Hard running against that Benson defense.
Jackson Alvarez had a rushing touchdown in this one, also contributed 54 receiving yards. Michael Coronado had led the team with 66 receiving yards, and Hunter Wright contributed 54 receiving yards. The reason I put every single receiver stat in there is every single one of them had 3 catches.
You know, I have no filter. I'll say it like it is. Hunter Wright had some big drops in that game. And when push came to shove, Lopez dropped that ball on Hunter Wright, and the hands brought it in. Hunter Wright made the play that sealed that game for the Bisbee Pumas.
I would agree with that. Let's talk about quickly the defensive stats for the Bisbee Pumas. Sebastian Lopez led the team in tackles with 10.
Wow, really? Not Spencer Anthony.
No,
He had a big game.
no, it was Lopez. I'm pretty sure it was
No,
Lopez.
I thought that Spencer Anthony would be the leader in that game.
I got him right there. Okay. Jackson Alvarez forced a fumble in this ball game. They actually had it written down as an interception. I don't think Dawson Judd threw an interception. I believe that was the forced fumble play where Fabian came up and recovered it. I think that was Jackson. They might have just put that stat in there a little incorrectly. Michael Coronado got the only sack or contributed a sack for the Bisbee Pumas, not the only one. As a team, I believe they had Spencer Anthony, had 2 sacks, 1 tackle in the backfield, 7 tackles. Fabian Hernandez, 8 tackles, 2 in the backfield, 1 fumble recovery. As a team, the Bisbee Pumas hurried Dawson Judd 13 times, by far the most outside of St. David this year for any team.
Yeah, I mean, it was a back and forth, punch you in the mouth affair. What a good game. We always have this knack of picking the game of the week, and boy, did we pick it on this one.
we were actually going to split up. One of us go to Wilcox and Tombstone, and we do apologize, Wilcox and Tombstone. We were told we couldn't split up because we had the game of the week, and so we made sure that Wilcox was covered. Unfortunately, someone was coming from Douglas, and after the vice president visited, all the roads leading in and out of Douglas were closed, so couldn't get there in time, is what I heard.
That's all right. Wilcox, we got your back. We got you this week.
And probably next week. That's going to be the only game we ever travel on the road for this week. But let's talk about this one right now. The Wilcox Cowboys against the Tombstone Yellow Jackets. 45-8. Wilcox pulls out the victory. It doesn't get any easier for Tombstone as they are now 2-3, falling to 0-2 in the section. They host Tanca Verde next week. Now that means Tombstone. Their 3 first conference games or section games are going to be Benson, Wilcox, and Tanca Verde, so they're going to end on some highs. They're going to get backloaded with the easier schedule, but man, do they need this win.
Yeah, not sure what's going on in Tombstone, Arizona right now. Again, they were 6-2 at one point last year.
I think they finished 7-4, 8-4.
I'm not sure. We're not sure what's going on in Tombstone right now. Again, I'm not going to say anything that I don't have any facts on. All I know is that Wilcox beat them up pretty badly.
Yeah,
I don't know if Tombstone had everybody available. We're not quite sure what's going on in Tombstone right now.
So Tombstone does not have any statistics up just yet, but the Wilcox Cowboys do. Joe Sanchez threw for 44 yards and a touchdown in this ball game, forced a fumble defensively. Ismael Cuevas has gotten that yard per.
Back at quarter. Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, Cuevas has had a monster year in terms of yards per carry these last few weeks. 7 carries, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns, a sack, and a forced fumble.
Defensive defense. What happened? What is going on in Tombstone?
What
is going on?
The rifle Remington Todd actually caught the lone touchdown pass for the Wilcox Cowboys. Also forced a fumble and recovered a fumble. Maybe there was 2 touchdowns because I remember Caleb Cook. Oh, Remington Todd ran the touchdown in. Caleb Cook, shout out Cece, had the lone receiving touchdown for the Wilcox Cowboys. Going over to more defensive stats, Andres Correa had a tackle for loss. Osvaldo Rodriguez had a tackle for loss and a fumble recovery. Travis Larson, cousin of Marshall Larson from Valley Union Blue Devils, had a fumble recovery. And Vlad, oh no, I had this written down. Semyenko had a fumble recovery. Oh man, I worked on that so hard.
Names, I tell you.
I worked on that so hard last night too. Unbelievable. Well, I had a sick child, so things go out the window sometimes.
Sick co-broadcaster.
Yeah, no kidding, right? So again, a big win from the Wilcox Cowboys over the Tombstone Yellow Jackets. That's putting it lightly, 45-8.
Yeah. Again, we don't know what's going on in Tombstone, but we do know Wilcox looks really good, and Wilcox Bisbee on Friday, like I said, just got really big, really quickly.
The Douglas
love football because it just comes on you like that.
Oh yeah,
bang! We got a heavyweight fight on
and
Friday.
we're halfway through the season already.
Halfway, I know it goes by so fast.
The Douglas Bulldogs got their first win of the season. Again, no stats. They beat Empire on homecoming night, 42-21. So the Douglas Bulldogs 1-4, now 1-0 in section. I do believe they won this. They were at least second in the section last year.
We're at 2 tutters in that game. He looked good.
And they're going to have Amphitheater coming in.
What?
Amphitheater coming in.
Oh, so there are 2 wins.
I wouldn't say that, but the Gia region just now starting, and the Douglas Bulldogs looking to turn their season around, much like they did last year in this time.
That was a get-right win for Douglas. They looked good in that game. big numbers for the Douglas Bulldogs. Let's hear them.
They don't have them. I just said they don't have them.
Score.
42-21. It was a lot to a little.
Yeah, a lot to little. Yeah, Douglas Bulldogs. I saw it in the Sierra Vista Herald and all. Like, Douglas, thank you. We know you're better than that record.
Yeah, we saw them on the Copper Pig. That was a good game, too. Let's go over to our last team to talk about, the Buena Colts. What everyone's here for, except for, all the St. David people. We have 3 good contingencies now. We have Buena, St. David, and Bisbee. Everyone else, watch our show. And comment in the chat so we know who you're cheering for.
Same thing with Buena Colts. Don't, like with St. David, don't beat them because you end up with this.
So the Buena Colts, 4-1.
Were they a little angry on Friday, or were they a little angry on Friday?
They just are going to start their section play this week with at Casa Grande, and that's going to be a big test. The section with Casa Grande, Morena. Like, Morena's a top 5A team right now, and so there's a huge section to try to come out of to get to the playoffs for the Buena Colts. But they beat Pueblo 56-0.
Yep.
Getting warmed up for that.
I had Elias Dyson's parents at Roadhouse. And they're worried about the Morena game. And like after 56-0 against Pueblo, like I try to tell them like they're gonna be fine. So they're worried about the Morena game. I'm not worried about the Morena game.
I'm worried about the Morena game.
Well, because Casa Grande, they were up 2 scores last year with 3 minutes to go. It was like a weird collapse. So they're gonna smash Casa Grande and get ready for Morena. What?
He's a media personality. Listen to your coaches. Coaches are going to be sitting there like, we ain't taking nothing lightly, all that good stuff. Ron Russell in the chat.
Casa Grande smoked last
says Colts, baby.
When we talked to the running backs right here, they talked about that Casa Grande game. They're like, we should have never lost that game. And so they're going to give Casa Grande a beating, and I'll see you for Morena.
So we're going to get over to some stats here for the Buena Colts. Nash Moore keeping up his Super Bowl numbers. That was a game in the early 90s. Best football game of all time. 6 of 9, 144 yards on the day with 2 touchdowns. Scrappy ran for 95 yards off 5 carries and 2 touchdowns. Michael Luan had 9 carries, 83 yards and a touchdown. Charlie Price chipping in 46 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Jaden Thomas, extraordinaire wide receiver for the Buena Colts, 2 catches, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. No, that's a pretty good average.
Were they playing the JV team? Like, what happened?
Cooper Krause led the team in tackles with 7, had 1 in the backfield. Sean Bookman getting in the backfield with 2 tackles for loss. Actually, those look like sacks. Chicken scratch. 6 tackles for Sean Bookman as well. And then, oh, man, I can't even read this. David Bolin, I think.
Maybe you should write with bigger letters.
Well, this one is because I only had a pencil to write with. So, unfortunately, just not there. So, I do apologize for that. But he also had 6 tackles and 2 in the backfield. Trenton Williams getting it done with 5 tackles and 2 in the backfield in this one. Bryson Harris,
so good. Trenton Williams is so good.
4 tackles, 2 in the backfield. Elias Dyson, 4 tackles, 1 in the backfield. I think he got a pick in this game. I just didn't write it down.
What?
He's on our rankings, trust me. Stay tuned, folks. We got a lot to get through in our high school.
The best corner in the county.
Romeo Sims also forced a fumble in this game, so good job to the Buena Colts as they're going to start a tough section schedule with Casa Grande at Casa Grande this Friday.
Victim. Casa Grande is Buena by 20. You heard it here right now.
Ryan Russell says, get it together, Paul. You write like a doctor. That's actually a compliment to the way I really write.
Buena by 20. You heard it here first. Casa Grande, don't even show up because Buena is going to beat you to death.
So, I'm going to go ahead and run down quickly my players of the week. Top Pacheco defensively, 10 tackles in the backfield, 3 sacks. And I want to put Jaden Thomas with that 50-yard per catch average, 2 for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. We haven't given the receivers a lot of love in our players of the week, and we've had multiple kids go over 100 yards, so why not Jaden Thomas? He's probably earned it before as well. 2
catches, 2 tutters, Randy Moss.
Raquel Wilson says, yeah, Todd. Yeah, when Todd's like, you're not ignoring me anymore, Paul. I love to.
You told me those numbers. We were watching the Chiefs game on Sunday, and you're like, do you see what Top Pacheco did? I was like, oh, my God. Yeah, we do talk about this besides on Tuesdays, by the way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's fun for us.
He came to my house to watch Chiefs game, and he's like, Top Pacheco. And I was like, what do you do? And I was like, oh, my God.
So that's going to get us over to our official 1A and 2A, the 4A and 5A rankings.
How much we love these kids.
The 4A and 5A rankings officially from AIA drop next week, but this week we do have the 1A and the 2A, and both of our 1A teams, Valley Union and St. David, in playoff position. After that loss, Valley Union drops to 12. St. David starts off officially at number 6 in our 1A.
One loss. They're number 6.
It's not bad.
Valley Union, you played St. David. You got it out of your way. No more losses. No more losses, Valley Union. You hear me?
That's going to take us over
We
to
know
our
what that is. We know what that is.
2A rankings. Unfortunately, right now only one team in the postseason is Tombstone, currently ranked 29th. Benson ranked 21st. Wilcox right on the outside, ranked 17th. They're the 8th best team according to Max Preps, and one of the top 5 teams according to J.P. Wildman, who's typically never wrong about high school football.
Right? He knows more than we do.
And then the Bisbee Pumas, currently the only playoff team, not only just playoff, they've ranked currently number 9, so a top 10 team out of Cochise County in 2As. We have Mama Bear Pacheco. Says, good job, Todd. I wonder who she's Mama Bear to. Probably the 2 Pacheco boys. I think there's a third one that's a freshman that we saw. He was on our stats earlier this year.
But now, again, these are AIA rankings. These are not our rankings. So, Wilcox. You know what that means, right? Like, you go to Bisbee on Friday, you get that win, you're going to swap places with the Bisbee Pumas.
Well, that's a heck of a segue, Dave, because speaking of our rankings, we're going to go ahead and rank the Cochise County teams right now. And if it seems like we're running through it, it's because St. David has a lot of people that are in the top 10. And a lot of these stats, Valley Union has some too as well. That's incorrect.
Whoa.
ALA is the number 10 team after that loss. Then comes the Douglas Bulldogs.
They won.
Yeah, and they're also 1-4.
Okay. Again, we don't know what's going on in Tombstone, but the wheels are falling off. I'd like to have more information.
So
I'm
the
trying to
number.
reach out to people. I haven't gotten any answers. Anyways, please go ahead.
Gerald Beagle, I always mention to Todd and Bobcat Pacheco. There's another Pacheco we have to worry about, Bobcat Pacheco. Gerald Morgan, we always mention that you would like the Colts to be broadcast to everyone at the radio station. Hasn't happened, unfortunately, just yet, but that's what we always do. We always say that this guy would really like the Colts to be broadcast. And if someone can get out there, I'm sure they will. So before the Douglas Bulldogs, after the Douglas Bulldogs, our number 8 team is the Tombstone Yellow Jackets, currently at 2-3. They have a big one against Tanca Verde. That's going to show us a lot about the Tombstone Yellow Jackets, and if they can win this one, they are still in the hunt for the conference championship because their toughest test is still going to, after Tanca Verde, is going to be the Bisbee Pumas, and that's way down the road.
Yeah, but again, not sure what's going on in Tombstone. I hope they turn it around. I hope they have all hands on deck going forward. But I don't think they did last Friday. I don't know. We'll see.
Our number 7 team, their highest ranking of the season, the Marine Academy Eagles, currently 3-2, just crawling their way up to that top 5 spot. That's going to put us up to the number 6 team. Falling out of the top 5 is the Benson Bobcats, currently number 6. Oh, yeah, we have the good hat.
That's a sexy hat right there.
And there's the golf hat. Thank you. Thank you, everyone in Benson. No, I wear that. I wear it.
Put it right there.
That's going to bring us to our top 5 teams, not going anywhere. The Valley Union Blue Devils, despite that big loss to St. David, our 5th best team in Cochise County. Number 4, the Wilcox Cowboys. Big win over the Tombstone Yellow Jackets, and they're going to be mainstays in the top 5. Our number 3 team, the Bisbee Pumas. So this could go either way after Friday.
I had figured this out, by the way, after like halfway through the year.
And, of course, St. David Buena, who've been there. Well, St. David actually started off very low. As soon as they won their first game, they've been there at number 2. So those are Paul's Cochise County football power rankings.
Come on, baby. Come on. Like, come on.
Katie McDowell says Mama Bear Pacheco is the best mama.
I don't know. My mom was pretty good.
His mom is pretty good. Love you, Mama. All right. Dave, strap in. I said we've got some recognitions. We're halfway through the season. I went through all of AIA. It is a lot of names on the paper. You know what? I'm going to have to read them all. You just sit there, make yourself comfortable.
Rapid fire.
And we went through AZ's top 10, the 1A top 10, the 2A top 10, The 4A top 10, which Douglas was not in any of those stats. I don't know if it's because they didn't upload their stats to AIA yet either. But and then we have the 5A, which are the Buena Colts. And we have recognitions for everyone that has cracked the top 10, which is the front page on those stats. So let's start it off.
We're halfway through the season, so we're going to do this halfway, then we're going to do it at the end of the season. So.
Who's we? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. Excuse me.
I'm joking. He's got to sit here and listen to it.
He has to give me smelling salts to keep me in this chair.
So in our Arizona top 10 stats, we have Sebastian Lopez 5th in total yards of all of Arizona, 1,483. I'll give you one guess to who's number one, Dave.
Again,
Tonopah Valley.
I'm brain dead. Oh, that kid from
Sir Isaac Caldwell Sanchez.
Yeah, that monster.
A.K.A. a problem. Number 7 in total tackles in all of Arizona, Fabian Hernandez with 64. Also, Fabian Hernandez, second in all of Arizona in sacks with 10.5. Not to be outdone, Top Pacheco, third in all of Arizona in sacks with 9.5. This is halfway through the season. These boys are about to break some records.
10.5 sacks, 9.5 sacks, and we're only halfway through.
Top Pacheco's brother, Chase Pacheco, is 10th in Arizona in interceptions with 4 halfway through the season. Dawson Judd for the Benson Bobcats, 6th in putting, 42.7 average per punt. That's NFL-style numbers right there.
Yeah, it is.
Jaden Thomas from the Buena Colts is second in punt return average, averaging 21.8 yards per punt return. Talk about flipping the field on special teams.
Yep.
Cedar Haney for the St. David Tigers, 10th in kick return average, 34.8. And I think there's a minimum on that because he had 7 returns. That's a lot of yards. Cedar Haney also 10th in scoring in the state of Arizona as he's contributed 80 points, which is kicking and touchdowns included. So congratulations to all of our top 10 and all the state of Arizona. That's going to move us over to the 1A team. Strap in. St. David and Valley Union has some names on here. Vincent Cicariello, second in passing in all of 1A for the St. David Tigers, 896 yards. Ryan Russell in the chat says, Cochise County taking over AZ. You're absolutely right about that.
The kid's a freshman.
And Raquel Wilson says, last Friday's game was crazy. I bet. And more people getting tagged. Thank you so much. Cedar Haney for the St. David Tigers is third in rushing with 631 yards in 1A. Yahir Luna for the Valley Union Blue Devils, 6th in rushing with 555 yards in 1A.
That's going to be 1,000 yards by the end of it.
Chase Pacheco, St. David Tigers, 8th in rushing for 485 yards. Grayson Merrill for the St. David Tigers, 3rd in receiving with 358 yards. Gannon Carafa for the St. David Tigers, 9th in receiving with 253 yards. You see how that happens when you have a quarterback that just second in passing. Everyone gets a turn on that one. Cedar Haney for the St. David Tigers, of course, in top 10 in Arizona means he's second in 1A in scoring with 80 points. Gannon Carafa, 8th in scoring with 60 points for the St. David Tigers. And Chase Pacheco, 9th in scoring with 58 points for the St. David Tigers. They are also the same ranking for total touchdowns as Cedar Haney has 11. Carafa and Pacheco tied with 9.
Those numbers are just crazy.
Miles Richardson for the Valley Union Blue Devils, 10th in scoring with 56 points. So Valley Union, I'm telling you, Valley Union's on there too.
I know.
Vincent Cicariello and St. David.
Yeah, I'd like to reduce it. I don't know what happened last Friday.
6th in total yards with 824 in 1A for the St. David Tigers. Luke Haymore for St. David, 8th in tackles with 50. Cedar Haney for St. David, 10th in tackles with 45. Top Pacheco still 3rd in sacks, even in 1A, with 9.5. Chase Pacheco 2nd in 1A.
3rd with 9.5. Who's above him? Lawrence Taylor?
Yeah, something like that. Lawrence Taylor and Aaron Donald. Chase Pacheco for the St. David Tigers, 2nd in interceptions with 4 in 1A. Dylan Mitchell for the Valley Union Blue Devils, 3rd in interceptions with 3. Gannon Carafa for the St. David Tigers also has 3, so he's tied for 3rd interceptions and has kicked the only field goal in all of 1A.
Who's that?
Gannon Carafa.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
And then Adrian Nunneberg for the St. David Tigers, 1st in kicking with 10 points. I believe it's actually 26 of 26 on the extra. No, that was Buena. Never mind. So, yeah, good job to Nunneberg because they don't really kick in 1A. I just remembered.
Yeah, well, they kick it 2A.
Oh, man, did I run that down faster? What, Dave? That's our 1A. Everyone that
We
watches,
try not to keep you here for an hour and a half.
yeah,
We do our best.
everyone that watches our
Like,
show
like,
might as well call it the
I
St.
had
David
7
Power.
diatribes today, so.
Might as well call it the St. David Power Hour when we get to St. David.
I'm telling you, we need to do a St. David show like every week.
That's going to get us
Just
over.
St. David.
And now to the 2A. Not a lot of top 10s in 2A.
Hold on,
Less than I
I'm
expected.
gonna guess a couple here. Hold on. All right, Lopez.
Nunberger. I thought I said that.
Who?
Raquel Wilson says yes, please, on the show.
Yeah, right. I know they know.
What'd
they
I
want-
say?
they want
Oh,
the St.
I just
David
wrote it wrong.
Power Hour. I know they want it.
So
All right, let's do some 2A.
2A, Sebastian Lopez for the Bisbee Pumas is 5th in passing with 849 yards. Also 4th in rushing with 634 yards, making him 2nd in total yards behind
What, Sir
Isaac
what's
Sanchez
his-
Caldwell Pope, whatever his name
that kid, yeah.
1,483 total yards for Sebastian Lopez. Flint Davis for the Benson Bobcats, 8th in rushing currently in all of
looked good on
2A.
Friday. All Flint looked good.
493 yards, and Jemiah Wallace for the Tombstone Yellow Jackets, 10th in rushing with 460 yards. Fabian Hernandez for the Bisbee Pumas, 2nd in tackles in 2A with 64, 1st in sacks with 10.5. Spencer Anthony for the Bisbee Pumas,
Tackling field.
4th in tackles for 50 with 55, 6th in sacks for 5.5.
Yeah, well, that's right. Last year it was a lot of Bobby Wagner tackles. Spencer Anthony's getting in the backfield now. Like, he is breaking the line of scrimmage. He's getting people in the back. It's
Playing downhill.
He has elevated his game.
Might be most improved.
Yeah, like he had a lot of tackles last year, but they were 3-4 yards downfield tackles. Now I'm getting you at the line of scrimmage tackles. Spencer Anthony's killing it right now. What did I do? I'm gonna yell at
No, Katie's like, what's worth pronouncing my kids' names? I don't know.
Which kids? What?
I think Nunberger.
He's doing his best.
Yeah, I'm trying. And then Atticus Del Mil. I said Del Mil. Or Day Mill. Maybe it's Day Mill. I don't even know. Either which way. Katie.
I'm not even here right now.
Katie, come on now. Anyway, Andrew Workman for the Benson Bobcats, 6th in tackles with 52. Michael Coronado for the Bisbee Pumas, 7th in tackles with 47. Also, Michael Coronado is 4th in kick return average in 2A with 27 per kick return.
Another player that's really stepped his game up as a senior. Michael Coronado, again, last year was good. This year, he's really making plays. Like, he's making big plays.
Harley Van Wormer for the Benson Bobcats, 10th in sacks with 4.
He's having a good year.
Oh, absolutely. Dawson Judd, 5th in interceptions with 3. He's also 2nd in punting in 2A with 42.7. Jackson Alvarez as well, tied for 5th in interceptions with 3. Hunter Wright for the Bisbee Pumas, 3rd in total return yards with 217. Katie, you're awesome as well. Thank you for joining us. And that's going to do it for our 2A.
Hold on, I just want to talk about
Stats.
Dawson Judd real quick. How spoiled are the Benson Bobcats, where they got 3 years of Dalton Crockett, and it gets immediately replaced with Dawson Judd, the quarterback, the cornerback, the punter, the do everything play. What you lose Dalton Crockett, you get Dawson Judd. Like it's a factory. It's a factory in Benson, Arizona.
Punting, interceptions, and quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. It's a factory. You lose one do everything player, you get another one.
That's going to move us over to our 5A top 10s. And, of course, we only have one team in 5A, and that's going to be the Buena Colts. And we're going to start off with Nash Moore, 6th in passing, currently the only quarterback in Cochise County to crack 1,000 yards passing with 1,048. Scrappy Bonilla is 7th in rushing with 522 yards. Jaden Thomas, 7th in receiving with 481 yards. Trenton Williams, 10th in sacks with 4.5. Elias Dyson, 10th in interceptions with 2. And so is Tariq Howard, 10th in interceptions with 2. Oh, no, Paul.
What?
Alan Marcello.
Oh, God, you're going to yell out again.
I know, right?
Here we go.
First in all of 5A football in points after touchdowns, 26 of 26. So the Buena Colts, the top scoring offensive team in 5A as well.
Again, 5A football, folks. That means Buena is looking like being the best team in the state right now.
He's also 6th in
That's
scoring.
It's getting exciting in Buena Coal Country because we're halfway through the season. We can start thinking about the whole thing. And you're like, all right, Buena, all right, let's do it.
Allen's also 6th in
Let's
kicking
do it.
scoring and also 6th in kickoffs. And then Jaden Thomas is number 1 in all of 5A for punt return average with 21.8. Congratulations to all of our recognitions. And that's going to do it for our high school coverage. Before we go, Dave, one stat I was very upset not to see there is tackles for losses. because those are plays just as big as sacks, and he kind of leaves out like a player like Sean Bookman, who's always in the backfield. Harley Van Warmer's always in the backfield for the Benson Bobcats.
Yep.
Fabian, all that. So I want to step your game up. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, again, Friday, Wilcox Bisbee, Fabian Hernandez, the Wilcox Cowboys. It's going to be a blast, baby.
I'm more excited over the speed show. We have Sebastian Lopez against Landon Ward, the Warden.
Oh, the Warden. Oh, yeah, because Bisbee's run defense, like Flint had a big game. So, Bisbee, you better bring that run defense because we've seen Landon Ward play this year, and you might want to step your game up.
He makes fast people look not fast.
Yeah, Landon Ward might run for 200 on you if you don't bring your A game. We've seen the kid. He's pretty good.
Pretty good. I think that's going to do it for our high school cover. Dave, do you have the quizzy for Pizzy?
I do.
Oh, all right.
And again, folks, as far as the diatribe goes, like he said, buckle in. We're going to be here a while.
Katie McDonald, sorry, Dave, before the chat says, do you think the Benson Bobcats are doing better with the new coach this year? Yes. That's a very easy yes.
Again, when you lose
your
do-all everything quarterback linebacker player, you have a new coach, a new system, and Benson is doing very well.
Shout out Chris Rasmussen. Yeah, absolutely.
That was a tough game against the Bisbee Pumas. I mean,
if they
15-12, that's a tough game.
If they would have beat the Bisbee Pumas, they would have been 5-0 going into the Wilcox game in sections, and that would have been for number one. They're still going to be there. Synergy in the chat says, great job, guys. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Synergy. Synergy Home Care, care that moves you.
How you doing?
Oh, Kelly's sick. She's throwing up. Everyone's sick.
I feel you, Kelly. I'll be back in bed in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, no kidding,
golf
right?
Today.
No kidding, right?
All right, so 3-question quizzy for Busy. Now, this might be a little redundant, but these are what's going on right now. So, the Kansas City Chiefs are 4-0. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
I don't think they're the best version of themselves. The Baltimore Ravens are back. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you shaking in your boots over there?
0.
0?
Yeah.
Baltimore doesn't scare you?
No.
They just gave Buffalo a beating.
Buffalo's overrated. Buffalo beat 3 bad teams.
So Baltimore's back. You're a 0. 0.
Do you know Lamar Jackson's record against Patrick Mahomes?
City looks right now, and you're not scared of the
Do you know
Baltimore
Lamar Jackson's record against Patrick Mahomes, including playoffs?
0 to 10. How do you feel like your team right now?
1-5.
0 to 10. How do you feel like your team right now?
Honestly, even with Rashee Rice going down, about a 7 or an 8 because
his own quarterback.
7 or 8 because that defense. You know me in defense. If the defense can shut him down, Ryan, you're wrong. If Lamar Jackson could take out Kansas City, Ryan, he would have done it already
last year,
or any of the other 6 previous matchups he's had. But yeah, so I'd say 7 out of 10. I wish Patrick would play a little better. Now I think he's getting more over the top than he leads on. But for the last 2 years, people have been playing really deep shells, and they do it at still an 80% clip against him. So there's just times where I think he's overthinking. He's expecting people to just drop off and get back. But last week especially, we saw 3 that he could have had. Now the pass rush was a lot.
I brought the Chiefs. There we go.
You asked me a question.
No, I'm kidding with you. So you're not scared of Baltimore at all?
No. That defense is
If
looking.
you're not scared of Baltimore, there's nobody in the AFC to scare you.
Exactly. The Jets. Oh, I had to hear about the Jets last week. It was 2 weeks ago it was the Jets, and then last week it was the Bills, and now this week it's the 2-2 Ravens who lost to the Raiders. Go ahead, Dave.
Again, so we're done asking the same question over and over and over again. Justin Fields has won the job in Pittsburgh.
Did he really?
Well, who's Russell Wilson getting traded to?
Is that official?
No, it's not official, but Justin Fields has won the job.
Oh, I would assume, even though he did spend most of that time in Indianapolis playing like old Justin Fields. I mean, he had a lot of garbage time where he almost brought him back. Russell Wilson is now going to be a journeyman backup quarterback. He's going to make a good living doing it, but the starting days of Russell Wilson are.
You don't see Russell Wilson going to the Raiders right now?
It would definitely be a Raiders move to bring in Russell Wilson, let me tell you. Let's do a 3.
You can't keep Russell.
We'll do a 3-team trade where the Chiefs get Devontae Adams, the Steelers will get Clyde Edwards. Yeah, and that's what I said before the season is I don't think Justin Fields is that great a quarterback, but I said he's going to be the starter for Pittsburgh. There was no way around it. Russell Wilson doesn't give you anything that Justin Fields can't give you.
Right, Russell Wilson went from Hall of Fame potential to backup quarterback.
All he had to do was stay in Seattle.
Fields.
All he had to do was stay in Seattle.
Sometimes the grass isn't greener, my friends.
Yeah, sometimes people aren't letting you cook for a reason. Sometimes you burn the toast.
Yeah, sometimes you're going to just make the macaroni and cheese and shut up. All right.
Last question.
All right, last but not least, your NFL MVP is either Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield. Which one is it?
Dang. This is going to be a real quarterback. It's going to be Josh Allen before that. Can I go out on a limb and just say right now, it's probably Derrick Henry.
Oh, yeah, King Henry looked pretty good. That's right. Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield are your two best quarterbacks.
Justin
in the NFL
Jefferson.
right
Again, this goes back to what I said last year when they gave it to Lamar Jackson. Like, there's no way you can give it to a quarterback for a mediocre season. And we had so many. Tyreek was in there. Justin Jefferson was in there. C-Mac's in there. C-Mac probably should have won it. Like,
R.I.P. C-Mac.
And no kidding, right? It should just be, and this year we could look at a defensive player, and I know they just want Defensive Player of the Year as their stat, but T.J. Watt is the biggest game record we have in the game right now.
T.J. Watt is getting to be like a top 5 all-timer right now. Like, the guy is unbeatable.
Well, we got some, Mindy Krause, I'm sure related to Cooper Krause, says 5 of the top 20 and 5A Southern stat leaders are from Buena. Yes, absolutely. Ryan Russell says the grass is always greener on the golf course. He ain't wrong, folks. And then Synergy Home Care says Baker with the, I know who wrote that comment.
Yeah, I know exactly who that was.
Anyway, that's going to do
Broadway
it.
Baker, baby.
Any follow-up questions? No, that's going to get us to one of, I guess, 4 Dave's diatribes coming up here, folks. I'm not so sure I need a disclaimer. Not going to do that. Before we do, Mindy Krause back in the chat says Trenton Williams had a scoop and score last Friday. 56-0, big plays from Trenton Williams. Yeah,
he's so good.
Oh, maybe that's the other FR I said. Touch it. Anyway, here we go. It's time for everyone's favorite segment, Dave's Diatribe. Dave, take it away.
All right. So as I was telling my co-broadcaster, I had several different things I wanted to talk about this week.
Yeah.
We could talk about the fact that the most famous athlete in the world is probably going to prison. But we're not going to say any names, but he's probably going to prison.
Who?
The most famous athlete in the world is probably going to prison on racketeering charges, but we're not going to talk about that. We could talk about the fact that 26 NFL quarterbacks had the exact same stat line. We talked something that we talked about last week with NFL defenses and what's going on in the NFL. 26 quarterbacks had the exact same stat line last week.
Run the ball and sign a fullback.
It's getting kind of weird in the NFL. It's getting a little mundane, if you will. We could talk about the fact the thing that he eats the most, that I saw 3 things last week to tell me that it might be rigged. But we're not going to talk about any of that because yesterday
Chiefs get all the calls.
the GOAT passed away yesterday. Pete Rose. We lost Charlie Hustle yesterday. And it's a big enough deal where I spent 2 hours talking to my wife about it, who doesn't care about sports. There's no direction on this, okay? So I'm just going to just go, okay? When I was a kid, there was 2 celebrities. My first 2 sports celebrities in my life were Pete Rose and Reggie Jackson. Pete Rose, if I know you've heard the name, maybe you're not familiar. He was the third baseman, outfielder, utility player for the Big Red Machine. They won back-to-back World Series in 75, 76. He won another World Series in the 1980 with the Phillies. Pete Rose. So back in the 1910s, at what we call the dead ball era, there was a lot of these records that were set that were never going to be broken.
Untouchable.
Hack Wilson, 180 RBIs in 144 games. Cy Young, 511 wins.
Ty Cobb,
lifetime 366 hitter. You're not going to touch these numbers. It's not even possible. If a major league pitcher gets to 300 wins, you put him in the Hall of Fame. Cy Young had 511. Hack Wilson had 180 RBIs in 144 games. That's more than an RBI a game, okay? Ty Cobb, as a hitter, if you get 3,000 hits, you get to go to the Hall of Fame. Ty Cobb had 4,189 hits, okay? Untouchable numbers. And then comes along this guy named Pete Rose.
Charlie Hustle.
4,256 hits in 24 years. Pete Rose, in 1970, in the All-Star game, they call him Charlie Hustle. Pete Rose just all the time, 100%, never quit. 1970 in the All-Star game, they had a play at the plate where he comes in. This is an exhibition game in the All-Star game. Pete Rose hits the catcher, Ray Fosse, on a play at the plate so hard, breaks his shoulder. Ray Fosse never played again. And they asked Pete Rose, what is the deal with the thing? Why are you like this? When Pete Rose was in high school, he hit a lazy pop-up to second base. He didn't run it out. His father very physically disciplined to the point where Pete Rose ran out every play for the rest of his life. Oh, see why I shut my book. We talked about this before on this show. In Major League Baseball, you can be inducted into the Hall of Fame as a player and as a manager. Pete Rose, the player, 4,256 hits. He's the greatest player that ever played. Pete Rose, the manager, gambled on Bames, his own team involved. Pete Rose, the player, is a Hall of Famer, first ballot. Pete Rose, the manager, banned for life. That's great. Pete Rozelle, back in 1989, decided to make a choice. I'm going to use Pete Rose as an example. He's going to be my poster child. You don't ever gamble on the game. I'm going to ban him for life. Bud Selig had a chance to overturn that. Bud Selig, the next commissioner of baseball, had a chance to be like, you know what? Pete's done his time. Let's put him in the Hall of Fame. Bud Selig, the piece of human garbage that he is, decided not to go that way. Rob Manfred, the current commissioner of baseball, could have done this for Pete Rose. Decided not to do that. I've been saying this for 30 years. They're going to wait till the day the man dies. They're going to put the man in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Pete Rose just died. So when they put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame next year, it's a joke. I get to watch Shohei Ohtani play baseball every day, but Pete Rose was never put in the Hall of Fame while he got to watch it. So when they put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame next year, I will be there at the ceremony with the biggest tomato you've ever seen in your life, and Rob Manfred's going to get it right in the forehead for denying Pete Rose that while he was still alive.
You get a lifetime ban.
I was telling my wife, the two greatest baseball players of all time, neither one of them are in the Hall of Fame for two different reasons. Barry Bonds being the other one.
Oh. Shoeless Joe Jackson in the Hall of Fame.
Shoeless Joe Jackson. I told her about that story last night as well. The Shoeless Joe Jackson is not in the Hall of Fame.
Shoeless Joe Jackson has a bigger complaint than Pete Rose does.
Yes, he does. but again, so next year, when they put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, oh my God, we made such a mistake. You have 30 years to fix it. I'm going to be right there with the biggest tomato you've ever seen. Rob Manfred's going to get it right in the forehead.
Look,
right in the forehead.
There is
Pete Rose, you were the best there ever was.
This goes on.
You deserve just an hour show for what you did.
This is part of the, like, when people get mad because gambling on sports when you're part of a team or part of a league carries a much bigger sentence than, let's say, Rashee Rice, who hasn't been suspended yet. And when he does, it's only going to be 6 games or whatever. But if you get caught,
all the athletes,
but if you get caught,
okay.
But if you get caught betting on in the facility or on your own games, like, it's mandatory a year. And that's one. It sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud, but nothing's more sacred than the integrity of the game. So if Pete Rose is betting on his own team to win or lose, that's jeopardizing the integrity of the game. Then we have a million Dave Davies who want to do diatribes about gambling in sports.
Didn't gamble on his team as a player. He did it as a manager. So Pete Rose, the player, is the greatest player of all time. Pete Rose, manager, should be banned for life.
Dave's mic's not working. I hope it caught that.
What? What do you mean my mic's not working?
I guess your mic's not working. You might have unplugged it while you were doing your diatribe. Hopefully they got a lot of that. Hey, if anyone can hear it, great. If not, here you go, Dave. Hey, what was the last? Oh, it works? What was the last thing you hear?
Is it working or not? Come on, Ryan, you're killing me.
His voice went out. I think you might have got a little too
is it working or not?
Passionate on the diatribe to Dave. Dave, don't worry. We're going to get you a real mic stand today, so you can't do that.
Okay.
Ryan said he got it all.
Then what part of my mic isn't working, Ryan? God.
But again, it goes back to the integrity of the game.
Right?
That's the biggest. Nothing can jeopardize the integrity of the game, because as soon as it's jeopardized, it all goes out the window.
But again, we just watched all these. Calvin Ridley got a year suspension, and everybody knows what he did. But Pete Rose, they had to be the poster child. Let's make an example out of Pete Rose.
Yeah.
And now they're going to realize what they did.
And it didn't work.
Shohei Ohtani has destroyed professional sports, but he gets to play every day. Oh, he went 50-50. Yeah, what about the $15 million he bet against himself?
He didn't bet.
Mississauga, Japan.
He didn't bet. What are you talking about?
Yeah, sure.
Well, until it's proven, those are allegations that could also lead to litigation, so let's keep those down. I got it.
Connie over at Vista Golf Center, Pueblo Del Sol.
Yeah, so Ryan Russell, when he started your diatribe, said that Dikembe Mutombo also passed away yesterday.
Yes, I know. You know, my favorite.
Say something nice about Dikembe Mutombo.
My favorite Dikembe Mutombo story is, well, first of all, they were the first 8 seed to ever eliminate a 1 seed in the NBA.
Who was it?
Yeah, when they played for the Nuggets, they played the Seattle Sonics, and that's why when they used to do 5-game series. 8 seed against the 1 seed. And but they were the first team to ever do it. They beat the Seattle Sonics that year. Mutombo laying on the floor with the basketball. That was what that was from. Kenny Mutombo had a big mouth. He loved to talk. And he, like so many others, made the same mistake of talking smack to Michael Jordan in the middle of a game. And if you remember the very famous thing, Michael Jordan looked at Ken Mutombo and said, "I'll make the next one with my eyes closed." And he, at the free throw line, looks right at Mutombo and he's like, and sinks it. Because Mutombo wouldn't stop running his mouth to the point where he was talking crap to Michael Jordan. And, like, Kenny Mutombo was larger than life guy. Brain cancer.
Rest in
6 years
peace.
old.
Yeah, we're all there sometime, especially with the food they feed us. But that's going to do it.
Yeah. Well, we'll be right behind you, Kevin.
That's going to do it for us, folks. Thank you again to Synergy Home Care, providing non-medical home care for people that struggle with activities of daily living. That's where we're going to be Friday. So if you're in the Santa Cruz or Cochise County, they service all of it. Make your first call to Synergy Home Care so you can see about the programs to alleviate costs to you. Dave, I'll just say outright pay for care for someone that you love.
My daughter works for Synergy now. She loves it.
Shout out, Rachel.
Thank you so much to the Vista Golf Center at Pueblo Del Sol. I do think they have a $59 special for active military.
You're welcome,
people,
Brian.
Where you can go all-day golf, all-day lunch, all that good stuff. Oh, before you get off of that mic, big shout out to Texas Roadhouse. Roadhouse. All right, thank you so much to Jaime and Ashley. We have kids night on Mondays now. Come on in. You'll get a certificate for a free kids meal next week. It's a lot of good things going on in Roadhouse. We're back. Roadhouse is back, baby. But thank you, everybody, for joining us at Cochise County Sports Show. I'm Dave Davies. That was Paul Corder. We'll see you on Friday in Bisbee, baby.
There's 2 more comments in the chat.
What do we got?
You can read them. You got the mic.
Roadhouse. Teeters. Thank you very much. And, we'll see you Friday, my friends.